Hey everyone, I'm Brittany Harrington from Candlewood Lake Media Group. I'm here today at Strings and Things located at 209A Kent Road in New Milford, Connecticut. And I'm here with Ryan, the owner, and we're about to dive into everything that this music shop has to offer. Let's get into it. Hey Ryan, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. All right. How would you describe Strings and Things?
I would describe Strings and Things as a central music hub for musicians of all kinds. It's a place where people can come and connect with one another. They can also come and get any sort of music equipment they need, from guitars, drums, studio gear, and even equipment for students to rent for the music program at the schools. I would say that one thing in particular that I'm actually really thrilled about is when people come in that haven't seen each other in years. Like, last week somebody came in that hadn't seen somebody for 30 years. So they reconnected, and just helping these instruments find new homes, but also children. I really have been digging like the 10, 11, 12-year-olds that come in, and instead of wanting new video game consoles, they want like a bass guitar or drum set. So just to see the look on their face, like I can tell this moment and memory is etched in them forever,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to start this?
A couple things definitely led to the inspiration. One in particular, in the town that I'm in, there's no music store, and there hasn't been for, I think, about 15 years. So to be completely honest, just from a simple point, somebody who wanted maybe a pack of strings, if you live in New Milford, you got to drive to Brookfield or Danbury, and sometimes, if you have an immediate need for it, that could be, that could just lead to some issues. It's just inconvenience. Mm-hmm. So at first it was like let's make it a simple convenience for the local musicians. And me being a musician myself, experienced maybe a couple issues going to certain places. So the issues that I was personally experiencing, I wanted to try to, even though it's like I'm not making a big, huge difference in the world, in the big scheme of things, at least for the area that I'm in, I know certain other musicians are probably experiencing the same things. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to start a store that kind of addressed these issues a little bit and kind of just were in favor of the musician,
Nice. So is that what inspired you to start this, or was there a moment in time that you said, this is what I want?
Yeah, I can't say there was like maybe one specific thing that led to it, I've been running a recording studio for many, many years, and I guess just lingering in the back of my mind was always the idea of having a music store synonymous and maybe even in the same building as my studio. So it's been like a thought for years, mm-hmm. And then one day my real estate agent called me and said, "Hey, meet me at 209 Kent Road. I got an offer you can't refuse." So I can't say there was maybe one thing that mm-hmm. led to the inspiration. It was just time evolving.
Of course. So what type of instruments, gear, and accessories do you offer here?
So we have acoustic guitars, we have electric guitars, we have amps for electric guitars, we have amps for acoustic guitars, we have drums, we have full drum sets, we have pieces for drums to just kind of piece the puzzle together. We have trumpets, we have saxophones, guitar pedals, accessories for, I don't know, everything music related. I kind of like the fact that in this store there's a little bit of everything. We don't necessarily niche down and focus on one specific thing, but rather try to carry a little bit of everything, even vintage records and merchandise from local artists. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit of everything.
Nice. Do you offer lessons, repairs, or any specialty services that people may not know about?
Yeah, so we have a lesson program that we're basically going to roll out next month. Mm-hmm. It's, since this is a small kind of brick by brick and mortar kind of situation, as the weeks progress, more and more things are building upon the foundation. So I have the lesson room, I have some teachers, but we're just working out kind of softening the edges, the rough edges, and we'll be kind of launching the lesson program next month. But as of now, we do offer guitar repairs, amp repairs, and what they call guitar setups. So if somebody has a guitar that's not playing right, they can just bring it here, and within a day, two at the most, our guitar technician runs through it, gets it playing great, and the person comes and picks up their instrument. And so far, they've been really happy.
What kind of customers are your services available to?
So a plethora. We have people come in that are just beginning, and they kind of need to be guided on the right path of like what instruments, kind of what to start with. We have people come in that are seasoned musicians that are in bands, and they're looking for maybe a specific thing, which is really cool because last week somebody came in, they needed something very specific. They're like, do you mind if I research it for a second, see if it's what I need? And it was, and like they got what they needed. And then we do have some people that come in that are maybe more so just collectors. And so when I have like a vintage piece from the 60s or 70s, sometimes people they're really interested in the vintage aspect of it. So yeah, beginners, seasoned musicians, collectors, and kind of like everything in between, students, in the local school programs and stuff. So we kind of service a little bit of everybody.
So how does Strings and Things support the local community and the local arts?
So a couple different ways. One of the ways simply is just carrying their merch in the store. A lot of artists and local artists have like merchandise and shirts and sweatshirts. So we have a section in the store specifically dedicated for local artists and their merch. Also, some vinyls and CDs. We have certain areas that we have CDs and vinyls pressed up from local artists. We also rent musical instruments to kids that are in the music program for New Milford and actually surrounding schools. That's something that's been really cool. People from Sherman and different areas have been coming in and renting instruments for their kids as well. So also I have a recording studio where on Sundays I invite musicians to come and just hang out and jam. So that's been really awesome too, because once again, you'll see people come that haven't seen each other in years.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different ways that we support local artists, and I'm always open to collaborate with pretty much anybody, local artists and local creators. As a matter of fact, somebody, close friend of mine, built our workshop table out of a tree. It's called Live Edge Wood. And so even something down to the workbench I do work on, somebody that's getting his business off the ground. I'm always trying to collaborate with creatives and local artists and stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what sets you apart from the big box stores?
I think I feel like I'm curating an experience. I feel like when people come in here, they're definitely getting a unique one-on-one experience. A lot of times people mention they go other places and they might feel either rushed or just simply unattended to, And when they come in here, yes, we are a smaller location, but even when like 7, 8, 9, 10 people are in the store, it's not a feeling of frustration. Everybody just ends up hanging out, and sometimes we end up just jamming, and there will be 6, 7 people in here, and everybody just takes an instrument, and now the store is just in one huge jam.
A music
Yeah.
stretch.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Does Strings and Things have any collaborations with any local entrepreneurs?
One specific thing I do want to mention is we carry a line of guitar pedals in here by a company named Dual Stage Amplification, ran by a close buddy of mine named Donato. And he's out of New Haven, and he is a independent pedal builder. And I really have to speak highly on these because they're just a lot of quality put into his work. I mean, the amount of time and brain power that has been put into his pedals is really incredible. However, he also makes our guitar cords, our microphone cables, and things of that nature. So to have a friend of mine, but also a creator himself in his own entrepreneurial endeavors, to be able to collaborate is amazing. So I'm an authorized dealer for dual stage amplification, and it's a very proud feeling, and I'm just really humbled to be able to keep his stuff in store.
What's your favorite part about helping somebody pick out their first guitar or instrument?
Yeah, that's definitely happened here. Man, that's happened a couple times, and it's just like a couple different things. Like seeing the joy, like brings me back to when I was getting my first instrument. So I try to make it more than just, oh, this is the guitar you want, and this is what it does. I try to kind of sit down with them. I pick their mind, see kind of what they're looking for. And like I said, like I don't really know how to be a salesman. I just know about music equipment because I've been doing it for so long, and I talk about the equipment with the person that is in front of me. And but I think seeing them filled with excitement and just like the utter excitement, and then like especially if it's an electric guitar, they get an amplifier as well. And I just demo it in front of them, and I could see that even though they might not know how to play, that they're like, I could do that one day, and it sounds awesome. So just seeing the joy being brought to somebody, because we all go through things, there's ups and downs. Life is like a roller coaster, but to have the ability to kind of help somebody get something that is therapeutic, because music is therapy, and when you're playing an instrument, there's certain ways you can play the instrument to reflect how you're feeling inside. So just to be able to see that person filled with joy, and it's not an age thing, I've had all ages come in for their first piece of equipment or guitar or acoustic or bass, and I think the most gratifying moment is seeing their smile. Like it sounds cliche and simple, but it does run deep, and especially with the kids, because they're so stoked that you could just see that they're going to go home for the next however long and just be driving their parents crazy playing, So, yeah.
That's cool. So how does that process work? Are you say somebody came in and wanted a personalized guitar, like how does that I've never played guitar, so I don't really understand the purchase of one.
So
are they just basic here, or how does that all work?
I kind of get an idea from the person. Well, first of all, I like to ask like kind of what music they're into, and what they see themselves playing. If somebody is into like country music per se, unless they have a specific thing they're going for, you're probably gonna curate an acoustic guitar of some sort towards them. If somebody's like in a metal band, they're gonna want an electric guitar with a specific kind of amp. So I usually ask just some questions to get to know the person, kind of their interest, what they're looking for, and that kind of narrows it down for me of what they need. And I do gotta say, there's a lot of times when people come in that they might not necessarily know what they're looking for. Sometimes people want you to tell them what they need and what they're looking for. And I can honestly say those moments are special because these people could be taken advantage of. You know what I mean? And I just do my due diligence to make sure they get exactly what they need. Because somebody can come in and this sounds crazy, but they might want to spend $5,000. And I'm like, you only need this though. So it is a unique thing because everybody has their own thumbprint. So you kind of got to understand what they're looking for. And then I just narrow it down and maybe even take a couple different guitars for them to play. And then they gravitate towards one, and then it's kind of by that point an obvious kind of choose and pick. Yeah. So but I like to give the person an experience, not just they walked into a music shop and bought a guitar. You know what
Understood.
I mean?
Yeah, no. That's cool because I have had that experience in big box music stores where I'm literally out on an island on my own, and if I want to spend that $5,000,
Yeah.
they're gonna let me,
Right.
because that's their job. Where I feel like
Exactly.
your job is more of a curated experience
It is.
where I can figure out what I need based off of your knowledge, not
Exactly.
my lack of knowledge.
Exactly. It's just like if I went to another store that wasn't my, professional field, I would hope that I'm dealing with somebody that's not trying to take advantage of me just for the simple sell. So there's a lot that goes into it. Being a musician and an artist myself, to run a retail store is a unique experience, because I am doing things in this store that are not typically done. Like, I'm constantly doing really amazing deals and giveaways. Sometimes I get bored and I'm like, I'm giving a guitar away today. You know what I mean? And it's like, what? But it keeps things fun. It keeps people smiling and happy. I think the business model I'm going for is something that reflects everybody being treated fair. It doesn't lean in one direction. Like, everybody's just getting a fair experience, you know? Yeah.
What are some holiday gift ideas?
So, yeah, the holidays are coming up. So we will be open until 8 through the holidays, which is cool. We're going to be open on Sundays as well, starting next week. Whenever this airs, I'm not sure exactly what the date is. But so we're going to be open on Sundays, and we're going to be open until 8. But I think what we're going to be doing is bundles. So we'll be putting a guitar with an amp, with a guitar strap, with a guitar cable, and bundling these deals together so somebody can come in, say, my son wants to play guitar. We'll already have a package deal for them. You know what I mean? Well, here's a tuner, here's a guitar, here's an amp, and we'll be having holiday sales as well. I think that probably for the holidays is the best fit, just package deals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where can people find you, and what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So people can find us physically at 209 Kent Road in New Milford, Connecticut. But we also have a website, stringsandthingsct.co, not com.co. And we have Strings and Things CT Instagram. I gotta say, the Instagram took off. It hit the ground running, and the algorithm gods were just in favor of us or something, because it just hit the ground running. Yesterday somebody drove an hour just to buy something in the store. Those are the small victories for me. This dude drove an hour to get something for me. And so, I gave him a shirt, some stickers, and extra stuff, and things of that nature. But surprisingly, Facebook, Strings and Things has its own page. Instagram, which is Strings and Things CT. And when I say, a lot of people have come and stopped in. Everybody says that. Oh, I saw you online. I saw you online. I saw you online, which is a great thing, So we have a strong online presence. They can get in touch with us through that. They could directly message. Some people are directly message all the time. It's 2025, so technology is working in our favor. So they could direct message, or they can call us on the number that I don't know off the top of my head.
We'll put it right here. Thank you so much, Ryan, and thank you for watching. If you are in the New Milford or Candlewood Lake area, please stop by Strings and Things, located at 209 Kent Road in New Milford. And I'm Brittany Harrington, and this is Candlewood Lake Media, and I hope to catch you at the next local spotlight. Bye.